everybody. Welcome to the Joe Costello Show. I know it's been quite a while since you've heard from me or have seen any of the videos on YouTube. And I wanted to get back up here. And first of all, I wanted to apologize that I've been MIA. I was really consistent when I started the podcast in March, all the way through the end of September, maybe even into early October. And then my life partner, Joellen, and I took a trip to Hilton Head. And that trip was supposed to be 1 week. Oh, and I actually should mention that before we took this trip, we started a YouTube channel. So we actually built a YouTube studio in our home up here in our loft area. And we're not sure yet, even to this day, what the channel is going to be, but we got really good feedback on the relationship advice that we were giving. We have been together, I think we're going on 20 or 19 years, and we have an amazing relationship. And there's so many things that we have learned. And so long story short, we thought we could be helpful by bringing certain subjects up on our YouTube channel, talking about it, discussing how we get through certain things, how we make things great, and all of that. So again, long story short, that was taking up some of my time because we were doing these videos and I had to learn Adobe Premiere Pro from scratch and become this expert video editor. And so I was struggling with it. I was losing footage, all these different things. And I was staying up really late and just too many irons in the fire. Then to top it off, we left on the 13th of October for Hilton Head, South Carolina. And we were only supposed to stay for a week. And the day before we were supposed to leave, we decided to extend our trip. I looked at Joellen and I said, why are we rushing back? There's nothing going on. COVID has had everything shut down. And so we both agreed. We said, let's keep going. We got on the computer the day before we were supposed to leave and we canceled our flight, rented a car, mapped out our trip. We basically went down the coast all the way to Key West, stayed there for, I think, 4 or 5 nights or 6 nights, and then drove back up over to Alabama, San Antonio, Austin, El Paso, back to Phoenix. So that ended up being 28 days in total. While I was away, I really, I guess I could have cheated and did a podcast on my phone or even using my laptop with the microphone. Like I could have rigged something up, I'm sure. So I'm not going to even try to make any excuses. Long story short, we got back and I was in editing mode because we had brought all our gear with us, all our GoPros and camera gear and tripods and everything. And we filmed every single day while we were on the trip. We took video of every possible thing where we weren't, just laying there on the beach or whatever it might be. So here it is, January 12th. And I wanted to come on and apologize to all of the listeners and even the viewers who go to the YouTube channel and watch the videos for my absence. I am back. I might not be able to do this every week like I was doing. I think I have to cut back. I have too many irons in the fire. We have the YouTube channel now. I am putting together a course on the music business. I'm learning ClickFunnels. I've gotten much, much better with Adobe Premiere Pro, so it's much easier for me to get through a video or edit these podcasts. But again, I'm doing all of this myself. And at the same time, as some of you might know already from listening to the podcast, I have an entertainment booking agency. So some of I mainly book resorts in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area, and some of those have come back. Many of them have come back. And so I'm running a business that I had 4 employees helping me. Now it's just me again because it's not quite at the point where I need to bring anyone on. So I guess these all sound like excuses, and I apologize because I'm not that kind of person. I'm probably sleeping like 4 to 5 hours a night at most because I have so much on my plate and I can't seem to get it done. So here we are. I wanted to do this podcast to just catch everyone up. I wanted to thank the listeners out there who continued to at least get through all the podcasts that I did put up. The viewership has not gone down at all. The downloads, I was just stunned. And so I'm really happy about it. So next week and the following week, I have guests already lined up for both of those weeks. So there'll be 2 podcasts coming. I don't know if I'll release them back to back. I might, like I said, I might do 2 a month, but these guests are amazing. I have emails out where I've gotten tentative yeses on some super powerful guests in the future. So I'm glad you didn't give up on me. I'm excited to be back with some great guests coming up. I'm really glad you hung around to listen to the podcast. Like I said, I am launching Making Money, Making Music. The reason I finally did this is because you hear time and time again where you take for granted something that you know really well and something that you can talk about all night long because you've done it. You've gone through all the pains and all the steps and everything. And being a professional musician, on top of being a business owner, I have learned all aspects of at least the performance part of the music business. My concentration is figuring out how to make money as a musician and how to diversify what you know so that when something like COVID happens, where there's a pandemic and all entertainment stops, and the only thing that you were doing up to that point was performing live, you're in a tough spot. That got me going and saying, hey, I really know how to help many of these musicians who just want to play music or be surrounded by music activities during the day. They don't want to take a side gig doing something else. And if they do, they want it to be music related. So the gist of my course is to help all the musicians who want to perform or the music creators who want to create, but only have been narrowly focused on one thing. And so when something like a pandemic comes and their revenue comes from a single source, they're in trouble. That's the reason I created this course. And I honestly believe that I can take any musician who is struggling financially, who has concentrated on a single revenue source, and turn them around where I can show them all the revenue streams that are possible and let them pick on 3 or 4 or 6, knowing that every day they wake up, they're doing something that's music related and they feel good about it. They're happy. They're in their zone. They're doing what they love. And at the same time, they're creating a sustainable living. So yeah, I have a lot going on and I don't want to drag this out. I just wanted to get back in here. Thank you all for continuing to listen. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. There's going to be so much great content coming down the road between the guests that I have and this new course. And I'm going to bring other experts in. As much as I didn't want this podcast to be a music-centric podcast, I can't ignore the fact that I have a deep knowledge in the music business and in business in general. So this is my opportunity to share that. And at the same time, I'm always going to be bringing in super interesting guests that have nothing to do with music because it's just really fun for me. And I learn a lot from listening to them while I'm doing the interview. So once again, thanks so much for listening. And please keep your ears and eyes out for the upcoming podcast. One interview is happening next Monday. There's a good chance that I'll get that one out by Wednesday, which is normally my release date. If I don't, please don't be angry. I'll get it out the following Wednesday, but there's a really good chance I'll be able to get it out on Wednesday. And then the one behind that, I'll probably release it 2 weeks later to give myself a little bit of breathing room. Thank you so much for listening. I really am honored that you have chosen to have me in your ears. Thanks so much. I'm very honored that you are listening to my podcast. And if you really like what you are hearing, please rate it. And if you have the time to write a review, I would be very grateful for that. Thank you so much. Join me again for future episodes.